Okay, we are back with Dr. Nganje. Now we're gonna talk about some of the things Dr. Nganje loved about teaching, and some of the greatest accomplishment that he has had since you have been teaching 23 years. That's a long time, Dr. Nganje. So tell us some of the things that you love about teaching.
Part of my job is teaching and research.
Mm-hmm.
If you work for a research university,
Mm-hmm.
you do a lot of research and then you teach.
Yeah.
So you are not just teaching out of textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
You are teaching students out of your research experience.
Mm-hmm.
And there are tons of real world problems that we want to solve.
Mm-hmm.
And if I publish a paper from one of those and I bring that into my classroom, and the students can say, okay, now I understand. I look at the problem, I understand the complexity about the problem, and I know how to approach that problem. So the main challenge about why I love teaching, because there's so many complex issues.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people see issues just one level. They don't see first, second, third, or fifth order repercussion
Mm-hmm.
or interactions,
Yeah.
as we call it in the sciences. So when you teach, you're able to open the minds of students so that when they see a decision and they make that decision, they're also aware of how it affects different aspects of society.
Yes.
So we call that a system.
Wow.
We teach so that people understand
Mm-hmm.
systems. So when I teach,
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I really love teaching is that you help take very complex ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Risk is a very complex topic.
Mm-hmm.
Finance is a very complex topic.
Yes.
But you break it down at very simple levels. Somebody will be like, yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I come to some of my classes. I remember when I have my graduate class, and when I take a very complex topic like principal agent model, incentives, how to incentivize people
Mm-hmm.
to be good people, good employers, or whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And the students come back and say, oh, you see the smile on their faces.
Wow. Yeah.
And then my graduate students, they go wild. After I teach them the theory,
Uh-huh.
I teach them the empirical application.
Mm-hmm.
All of them write papers. There are 10 papers in my classes. They submit it to conferences. I publish a lot with my students.
Wow.
And when they understand those complex issues and you break it down to them
Yeah.
in very simple forms, because problems in the world are very complex.
Yeah.
Now they get excited. They're not just talking about simple things. They're talking about how to address the problem from a systems approach.
Yes.
So part of my joy
Mm-hmm.
is when you help a student change society and look at an issue that they can say, this has been my lifelong dream
Mm-hmm.
to make an impact.
Wow.
And they go out there, either do research in that area or take on a charity project
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that is implemented. So I like the practical aspect of teaching,
Mm-hmm.
which is my research side, bringing that back into the classroom.
Wow.
But I also like the fact that when I teach a student, they just go wild. They go crazy. They just get excited.
You see the outcome of your work.
You see the outcome. They get
Yes.
excited. I just learned something new.
Yes.
And now I can also do that,
Yes. Wow.
and that's the exciting part about teaching.
Wow. Very good. Very good. So, tell me, because you have been teaching for 23 years, can you think of a time where, you see yourself in a student? You see how you see, yeah, I don't know how else I can ask. I've been meaning to ask that question like that. So you see yourself in a student,
Yeah.
when you're teaching. Can you think of
Good teachers will always tell you
Uh-huh.
there are students in the class who are more intelligent than they are.
Yeah.
So when I teach in my classrooms,
Uh-huh.
and I see students sometimes, wow, he or she is very smart.
Yes.
And sometimes way more smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Then my job at that point is to lead them and say, wow, there are all this potential
Mm-hmm.
that you can become
Yeah.
because your level of intelligence
It's very
is
high.
very elevated.
Wow.
So when I teach, I
Mhm.
always I get excited
Mhm.
when I see those students
Yeah.
who are not only intelligent,
Uh-huh.
but they are dedicated,
Yeah.
they are motivated,
Uh-huh.
and they are super hardworking.
Wow.
I get excited when I see those students.
Wow. Man, this is really getting so good. So tell me about some of the accomplishments that you have, because you mentioned that you have awards. Tell me why you received this award and what was the occasion. I mean, what was
Yeah,
the
so
work done?
I'm a department chair, and I still try to publish.
Yeah.
So I average at least a couple of publications, 2.5 papers a year,
Okay.
and those papers I've gotten at least 4 best journal articles
Oh, wow.
in some really good journals.
Okay.
One of them had a cash price of about $5,000.
Wow.
It's not much money, but it's just stuff you can help a grad student. So when you do research, and that paper was on obesity, food risk.
Okay.
When you do research sometimes in areas that are complex, and those areas that are complex can break some complexity, and people are like, wow, this is something we can use. We can use this model moving forward. Then they said, you deserve an award.
Okay.
For publishing a paper that people can cite and use that paper.
Wow.
Or I've done some innovative teaching technologies. I love teaching, and I believe in reputation. If you come out of my class and you don't understand the concept, I make sure that that's my primary goal. I'm not teaching students because I want to fail them or pass them. I know students love the grades. They always want to get a good grade. But I tell them in class, I was a student. And what made me a really good student, because I did not care about the grade. I cared about learning the material.
Yeah.
When you learn the material and you understand the concepts and the material, the grade will follow.
Yeah.
You'll get a good grade.
Yes.
When you have some of those techniques that you help students learn, there's a difference between teaching and learning.
Wow, very cool.
When you have techniques that you help you help students actually learn the material, apply the material. Students and other people say, yeah, you can get an award for teaching. So I've had multiple awards for teaching, and some awards for research as well.
Wow, very good, very good. So I don't know, your story is very different compared to the other teachers that I have had for professional lunch. Right now, you mentioned you have like multiple awards and you do research, and your students. I want to know. Give me an example of something that you can share with me that you think that could be considered the highlight of your teaching career. As like we say, this is the point that I know that I have done somewhat. Tell me, share something with me that you think that can be classified as that, if I can put it on that.
I really don't put a tag to these awards and stuff. But what gets me excited, if a student writes me an email, you're the best professor I ever had.
Wow.
I've had several of those emails.
Yeah.
And when I look at my teaching evaluation, the comments that I get from students,
these are the things
I know I've done my job.
Wow. These are the most rewarding.
That's what is most rewarding to me.
Wow.
The awards are for show.
Yeah. So
when students learn the material, and they tell others, you will learn a lot from that class. And you can use that material to do a lot of things. Because, when I teach students theory, it's different from teaching them case study.
Okay.
The difference between teaching somebody theory is that theory, you can apply it to different problems in life.
Yeah.
And when you understand one simple theory, and you can take that theory now, and you face a problem, so maybe drug addiction, or maybe obesity, rational addiction models, you can explain that model to them and say, okay, I understand the addiction model. I can apply it to different areas. It opens their minds, and they say, wow. So when I teach students, I said, don't worry about application.
Mm-hmm.
Application is good knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but the best knowledge you can get is understanding theory.
Yeah. And that will give you an ability to use it
To
wherever,
apply it
yeah,
in several different areas.
Yes. Yeah.
If you go to school
Mm-hmm.
and you finish a class and you don't understand one or two theory that were presented in that class, you didn't learn much.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody asks you a tough question, you have nothing to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you understand theory and somebody asks you a tough question, you're like, yeah, I think this is how this thing is going to evolve or how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
Then you become very knowledgeable in that area.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Wow. So, okay, I'm enjoying this conversation so much. I don't want to stop, but you know this is professional lunch. We have to stop so we can enjoy our food. We're gonna take a little pause again so that we can enjoy our food, and then we will come back with the best part of the conversation, which is the challenge. Some of the challenges that in situ might face according to Dr. Nganje. We'll be right back.